Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm interviewing Joe Bland for the Illinois Veterans History Project at Joliet Public Library. So some of the questions are, where and when were you born?
I was born in Richmond, Virginia, April 15, 1953.
So who and where, well, if there's, who were your parents, number one?
Both my parents are deceased. My mother's name was Annie Sue Bland. My father's name was James Fred Bland.
What were their occupations?
My mother wore many hats. Besides being a housewife, she held 3 jobs. And my father, he was a tailor and an electrician, and he was also a TV repairman.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I do.
Who are your siblings?
I have 2. I have a natural daughter and a stepson.
Okay, and then did any of your other family members serve in the military?
Yes, they did. I have an older brother. He was in the Army also, and he was in the Vietnam War. And he came out okay, but he was a shell shock guy.
Okay, and what were you doing before you entered service?
What was I doing? I was in Holiday Inn, short order cook.
Okay, and in which branch of the military did you serve?
I served in the Army.
Okay, why did you choose a specific branch of military?
Because I investigated the service branch before I started, and I seen that the Marines, they took too long to get rank. The Army was the easiest one to accumulate rank the quickest.
Okay, and what was the highest rank you achieved?
I was an acting sergeant, but I was just acting. It wasn't a real sergeant. It was just an E4.
Okay, were you a guard member or active military?
I was an active military.
Okay, and do you recall your first days of service?
My first was in basic training. I was stationed in Kentucky.
Okay, how did it feel to be in the military at that time?
Oh, wow. I was just coming into my puberty section of my life. And it felt great because I always liked to travel, and where else can you travel for free but going into the military?
Did what you learned in basic training make you question everything you knew before you joined?
Not really, because I knew a lot before I went into the military. The military just enhanced what I already knew.
Do you recall any instructors, and if so, what were they like?
In my basic training, I was the more, how should I put this, outgoing type of guy. They made me the guide arm. The guide arm is the guy that leads the rest of the troop when they do their PT.
Okay. What did you do after basic training? Did you go to your
After
first
basic training, they give you I think I got a 2-week leave before I went to AIT. AIT is where you go to school to go into your MOS. Your MOS is your job. And I stayed my 2 weeks in Kentucky, and then I got on a bus and went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina to take up my AIT.
Okay, and then did you have any specialized training?
I did, but I can't talk about it.
Okay, and then what was your MOS?
My MOS was a 71T Tango, and that was a clerk typist. I didn't like that job because it consists of sitting at a desk banging on the typewriter, so that was not my piece of tea. So I changed my MOS to a 63 Charlie. That's a truck driver.
Okay, and how did you adapt to military life?
It was easy because I was an outside guy anyway. I loved the outdoors and everything about outdoors, so it came natural.
Okay, do you remember arriving, and what were your thoughts when you did?
Arriving where?
When you first went to basic training?
I had always been with a group of people, but this was the first time I was with a group of people that I didn't know, because I come from a big family, so.
Okay, what kind of food did you eat?
Oh, I was quite surprised. The food was quite marvelous. I was quite shocked.
Give your name.
My name is Brian Belforte. Did you have chocolate covered oatmeal cookie bars in your MREs?
Yes, I did. And that's called K-ration.
What was the best MRE?
I beg your pardon?
What was the best MRE?
Oh, man. I really didn't eat it. I sold mine because I was on a different kind of diet. Nah, I ain't eat mine. I just sold mine. Right.
Where did you sleep?
Well, it all depends. If you're on your barracks, you sleep in a bunk it's a 3 or 2 tier bunk. And if you're in the field, you sleep in a tent, in a cot.
Okay. Well, was your armor and equipment up to date, or were they from a
No, it wasn't. We had some out of date. The only thing that was up to date was the M16. Well, we had M14 before we got the M16, so everything was out of date. Yeah, but we had to make do with what we had. So we had a lot of crafty guys, and they modified our equipment for us. We modified our own equipment. So.
Can you tell us if you were issued a flak vest, body armor, or a low bearing vest?
Only time I was issued that is when I went to jump school. Other than that, you get your regular issue armor stuff.
What's the difference between them?
A float vest is for guys that go on boats and stuff in the Navy. You get your vest when you go in the field. You have your substantial stuff that you need, your knife, your grenade, all that good stuff.
What is the difference between the Kevlar helmet and the steel pot?
A steel pot is what you have when you go into wartime. It's supposed to deflect bullets, but it doesn't. So the other one is just a soft cap that you wear around, ordinary thing.
Which one did you have?
I had you are issued both of them.
Oh, okay. Did you have a global positioning system of your own?
That I did, but it wasn't military.
What purpose did it serve?
It showed me where my commanding officer was and where we should be. But I told you we had a bunch of crafty guys. They built their own global system. but the main global system is for the unit that we had, and to pinpoint your enemy position, what kind of equipment they have, well not what kind, but where they located, and all the sites and stuff we're supposed to bomb.
Did you have experience with IEDs?
Once. I was stationed in Germany, a place called Schwäbisch Gmünd, and I was a gate guard. And something happened, and a bunch of tourists came up to the gate, and they threw some, I don't know what it was, what they threw at us. But it was stuff flickering like firecracker. I thought it was IDD, but it wasn't, because if it was, it would have blew the whole gate off, but it didn't do anything. It just fizzled.
Did you sustain any injuries?
I got a little scratch here and there. I sustain injuries wherever I go, but it's nothing serious. You just get a little nail break or little scratch here and there. It's nothing serious.
Can you talk about any combat action you participated in?
I know.
Did you have duties away from the front line?
Yes.
Wait a second.
How did you feel when witnessing destruction?
Was in a situation, my first time witnessing it disturbed me. But after a while, you get used to it.
Did you go out with insurgents?
No.
What adjustments did you have to make when going out with insurgents?
You have to get brief. That is, you have to go, and your commander or whoever are with the insurgent, they have to brief you on how they are accustomed to doing things, and your insurgents are people that from the country you are with, and they supposed to be on your side, but sometimes they flip the script on you and turn on you. And you have to be aware of them and the permanent enemy out there.
Did you have an interpreter assigned to your unit?
No. We had to interpret and do things on our own. I believe the officer, they probably had one, but the enlisted men didn't.
Were you ever on the quick reaction force for the division?
No.
How many units were you attached to?
2.
How did active duty personnel treat National Guard units?
I wasn't attached with any National Guard. When I was in service, we didn't have National Guards. We had Marines, we had Navy, we had Air Force. We have no National Guard. National Guard is mainly in the United States. It's very seldom I see a National Guard overseas.
Was your tour or mission ever extended?
They wanted me to extend, but I got homesick, and 3 years I thought was enough.
What were the requirements for promotions you received?
Just keep your nose clean, do what you're told, but as with everything, I didn't keep my nose clean because I could have got higher than what I did. And you know, when you're young and for the zest, you do things that you're not supposed to do, and you get in trouble, and you get an Article 15. That's where they take money out of your check, and that put a damper on your rank, your next rank and stuff. So I think I got about 2 Article 15 where I could have got a hard strike. A hard strike is your 3 balls, your sergeant strike, and I just got a spec 4. If I had kept my nose clean, I could have came out of E5, but I didn't. So,
Did this come easy for you?
huh?
Did this come easy for you?
Yes, it did. As easy, as surprising as it seemed it did, it was quite easy, yeah.
Were you awarded any medals or citations?
Yes, I would. And I gave them all to my mother, and she passed, and I don't know what she did with them, so.
Do you remember who gave the medals or citations to you?
My commanding officer.
Was there a ceremony when you received them?
No.
What did you do for entertainment?
There's a lot of. What I did, I travel a lot. When I was overseas, I visited every place that I could come up with because it was free. So I just did a lot of traveling.
Was downtime limited because there was more work than soldiers?
Only time we had downtime is when we had a raid, when the siren would go off, and it wasn't that much downtime. Yeah.
What types of additional duties were you assigned to?
Oh, I was assigned to a bunch of crazy stuff when we weren't engaged. I had to build cement, I don't know what kind of, some kind of contraption they came up with. I had to build that. And then I had to go around the concern, that's what they call the headquarters, where they call it a concern, where we were stationed at, and get all the scrap cars off the doggone lot and do something with them.
What kinds of friendships and camaraderie did you form while serving, and with whom?
That's the wonderful thing about the military. You meet people from all walks of life, and you get to talk about how they live in their certain part of the country. And I met a lot, and we formed a great kinship, so great that we don't keep in touch with nobody.
Did you do or have something special for good luck?
You make your own luck. I don't believe in all that lucky stuff. No, I didn't. No.
What was your main form of contact with family and friends?
I didn't have one. My mom was concerned about me. She got the Red Cross on me because I wasn't writing and doing what I was supposed to do. And my battery commander came and he chastised me for not keeping in contact with my mother. And I was gone for 3 years, and I think I wrote about 2 letters. That's about it.
How was having the ability to contact home helpful?
I don't know because I ain't use it.
How are today's wars different? Please share how civilians can be more aware and informed.
Today's war is different because there's a lot of innocent people getting killed for no reason at all. But when we was in war, we had very limited soldier people getting killed, very limited. But nowadays they just bombing everything, and today is a mess.
Okay, so Kevin Belforte, do you recall the day that your service ended?
Sure I do. It was hot. It was in June.
Where were you?
I was in Richmond, Virginia, standing in front of a oh boy, standing in front of the doggone station, and this man sitting at the desk looking at me, and I'm walking back and forth, thinking about should I go or shouldn't I go.
Had you fulfilled your military service?
Yes, I did. I have an honorable discharge.
Were others discharged with you?
I don't think so. Cause I got on the plane by myself. I ain't seen nobody else with me. But it probably was a bunch, but I ain't seen nobody.
How did you return home?
I got on a plane in Frankfurt Airport. It was a 20-some hour flight. And I arrived in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the next day with a duffel bag and a pocket full of money.
How did you handle switching your mindset when it was time to come home? And was it difficult?
Oh, it wasn't difficult at all. I was ready to come home. Sure, it wasn't difficult at all. Well, when I got here, they had me go see a shrink to make sure I was all right. So,
How were you received by your family and community?
they threw me a party.
What have you done since separating from the military?
Oh, I've done a lot of things. That's one thing that I always wanted myself to do, to experience a lot of things. I ain't want to get bogged down on one job and one thing. So when I got out, I got a job on the railroad. I was a brakeman, and the railroad went bust. I was on Southern Railroad, and then I got a job at a factory. I was in a warehouse and drove forklifts and stuff. And then I got married. And that was my downfall. But that's another story. And I got divorced. I came to Chicago in '91.
Did you resume a job or start a new career?
I started a bunch of new careers. I went from a brakeman to a truck driver, to a forklift operator, to a welder. I can do a lot of things.
Did you go back to school?
I was trying to go online, and the school I graduated from, John F. Kennedy in Richmond, Virginia, I don't know what happened to it, because the school that I was going through wanted my transcript, and the school was gone. They have no record of my transcript or nothing from my high school.
Did you use any military benefits?
I did a GI Bill for to go to school. Yeah.
If you used the benefits available, did you feel they were adequate and complete, or how do you feel about the care available?
Yeah, they was pretty good. But I used all of them except one, and that's now bill for my home. I haven't used it yet.
Have you remained in contact with or reunited with fellow veterans? If so, who?
I'm living with a bunch of veterans now.
Are you a member of any veterans organizations? If so, which?
No, I'm not.
How did your military experiences affect your life?
Oh, it made me a better person. It made me more temperamental, made me have more patience. Because when you deal with the military and the government, you got to have patience. And it made me a better person. Yeah, it did.
What are some life lessons you learned from the military service?
Well, I might tell you, I had my life lessons before I even joined the military. The military just enhanced what I had already known, because I always was prompt, on time, didn't like to lose no time from a job or nothing. I was always fit, and because when I went to the military, like you to be physically fit, and they do a lot of jumping jacks and push-ups and running. And I love that stuff, because that's what I did on the outside. So they just enhanced what I already did when I was in the streets. So.
Has anyone ever thanked you for your service, and how did it make you feel?
Oh, they thank me a lot. Everybody that thank. As a matter of fact, today, the boat, the Harris is giving a dinner for all the veterans today, so it makes me feel very proud. Yeah.
How has your military service impacted your feelings about war and the military in general?
Well, it made me feel that the military and war is useless, because we are fighting for someone else's agenda. Most of everybody over there didn't know why they was over there, what the hell they was fighting for. So it underlined somebody else's pocket, not ours.
What is the most positive thing you took away from your experience in the service?
Obedience and being true to oneself and your friends. You got to have friends.
What message would you like to leave to future generations who will hear and view this interview?
Future generations, take advantage of whatever situation come your way, because somewhere down your line it will come back to you, and you will have a better understanding of what you went through to get there.
Is there anything you feel like we haven't discussed or should be added to this interview? If so, what?
Oh no, no, because I really want to thank this library and you guys for showing your appreciation to the veteran, and I hope you'll have a lot more to come.
Thank you for your time and your service.
And I thank you.